today because, well, I kind of took them off the wifey's earrings, so let's not tell her, okay? Welcome back to another episode of Fishing Disabled. Today we're going to be building a shark leader using steel cable. I like to use some heat shrink tubing to wrap down my cables, and mainly there's two purposes for that. And one, I use it to protect the cable against corrosion, rust, stuff like that. It does help a little bit, and it also keeps it from fraying. Second reason is sharks have a lot of sensors, and they can pick up metal in the water, especially when you have it just dangling right there beside your bait. And they can pick it up, and it's not going to prevent them from picking it up, but it might help a little bit, and I like to just do it, so that's how I do it. We have a 12-aught circle hook, some stops, and some swivels, and a place to hook your weight. Right here I actually got some beads, and the beads slide in between it. Also, it's kind of a guide. I don't know if it's decoration or what, but I'm using pink today because, well, I kind of took them off the wifey's earrings, so let's not tell her, okay? Alright, let's get started. So what first we're going to do is, this is a 6-foot piece of steel cable. I like to make my leaders at least 6 foot. By the time I get finished, it'll probably be about 5'8", my height. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this cable and I'm going to run this piece of shrink tubing all the way down it. Okay, I like to leave about 2 foot of the cable up on top, and what that does is that leaves it open, some place for the weight and stuff to slide. So don't slide it all the way to the top of it. Just leave yourself about 2 foot there, and maybe a little bit more. Alright, and I like to use a heat gun. The heat gun works better. You can use a lighter if you want to, but I recommend a heat gun. And you can buy them pretty cheap at Harbor Freight. Now this might take a while, so I'm going to finish heating this up and I'll be right back with you. Okay, now that the shrink wrap has actually finished cooling off, and it's finished as you can see here, it won't sit right on it real snug. It will slide a little bit, and that's good because we're going to use that to our advantage. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the leader here. We're going to slide that shrink wrap just a little bit down here. Now that we have about 8 inches showing of the leader here, and like I said, it's real easy to slide that shrink wrap down just to get it a little bit more than you need here, because you'll move it back later. But slide it down to about 8 inches showing, and then we're going to cut. So we cut another little piece. It's just a little bit bigger than the other shrink wrap. We're going to slide that over just like that. Now the reason why I do that right there is I like to cover up my clamp, and that's just something I do. It's not, you don't have to do it, but I just, something I like to do, so I go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and slide that clamp on. Watch your fingers here, because the end of this can fray and it will poke you. So we'll slide it down. Alright, we're going to slide on our hook. The reason why we give ourselves so much is that way we got plenty of room to work with here. Just slide this right back through the other side until you have about a centimeter showing, maybe half an inch. we'll take that and we'll just hold that tag end that's coming out of there, and we'll just slide this piece back through till we got a decent little loop, you know, about an inch long. It gives it plenty of room for that to play. Now we can take our shrink wrap, slide it back up. You know, leave yourself just about another inch here, because what I like to do also is after I clamp this down, I like to solder the end here. Just a little solder, and it just, to me, that just makes it feel like it's going to last longer and it'll be stronger. So that's how I like to do that. Alright, now that we got that where we want it, we're going to take a clamp, well, crimpers, and then we'll crimp down this clamp. Now this is just little kind of cheapy crimpers. You can use, if you don't have any type of crimpers, I recommend using the right type of crimpers for this, but this is all I have, so this is what I'm going to use. You can use like a piece of iron or something and lay it underneath it and use like a 5-pound sledgehammer and give it a couple whacks to really get a good grip. But this was $10 at the hardware store, and so this is what I'm going to go with. So we'll take it, we'll cramp down on it the best we can. Use the surface to help. Be careful when you're doing this. If you don't have the physical strength to do it, you know, find somebody that can help you. And a lot of times I have trouble squeezing stuff, but this isn't that bad because I do have clamps. But lifting a 5-pound sledgehammer, that's not going to be easy for me. So, all right, now that we got our clamp on there, test it, make sure it's good and tight and strong. Yeah, I think we're golden there. Just double check it one more time here. Probably not necessary, but I like to just make sure. Alright, now that we've got that, we can actually take our solder, and I like to use flux because it kind of helps the solder pass through it a little better. Use an old toothbrush or something like that just to rub the flux on. Kind of work it into that cable a little bit. Now this stuff stinks, so if you have a window or you're outdoors, would be the best to use it. But if you're not, you can't be outdoors, you know, open a window, open a door, whatever you got, let some air flow through here. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat this up. It always takes a few seconds, so as soon as it's soldered, I'll be right back with you. Okay, now that we have the solder has time to cool and it's in there, take a look at that. I don't know if you can see that really good or not, but it's good and strong now. I don't foresee a problem with it sliding. And like I said, this is not a necessary step. This is just something I like to do just to make it stronger. Okay. So now we're going to take that shrink wrap, the small end, and we're going to slide it all the way back up as far as we can get it. And then the little piece that you cut right there, you can see it, we'll slide it right over the end of this. Just like that. And let's take our heat gun. can see, it's good and protected, coated down. We've got a nice little loop on the end here where the hook is going to be. Alright, so now we're going to work on the other side. Slide that end down there like that. Alright, so first what we need to do is we need to put a stop on here. So we'll just take this one right here. We'll slide it on there. Right here to the end of the shrink wrap. And then we're going to clamp it on. And go all the way back to the end over here. Alright, now that we got the stop nice and clamped on there, that's what we have so far. Okay, now this is where our beads that we can't tell the wifey, she'll figure it out, but you know. We'll slide 2 of them on. Slide them all the way down to the stop. Then we're going to we're going to slide on a swivel and the clip for the weight. Then we'll slide on the other 2 right here. Now you see there they are right there. And almost like a Carolina rig, it'll slide up and down, allowing the weight to move in the water on the bottom. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this stop here, we're going to slide it on. But I'm not going to put it on, I'm not going to clamp it down just yet because I need to know how much room I'm going to have. Okay, now that we got that, we're going to take our other little piece right here, which we don't need that much, just a little bit less than that. Cut off a little piece, slide down just like that at the bottom. Now you have everything just kind of sitting there sliding on it. Okay, now we're going to slide on our little cable clamp here on one side. Go ahead and slide on your swivel. Give yourself enough room to turn it and loop it. And come right back with it right here. Again, stick it out about a centimeter, half an inch. Hold on to your tag end. Then we're going to slide that back up through, giving us a little loop, just like that. And just go ahead and hold on to that tag end. And get your clamp. We're going to clamp it again, just like we did the other one. That's nice and tight. Now again, I'm going to go ahead and solder this side too. And like I said before, it's just my preference, just something I like to do. It's not necessary. It's not by all means anything you have to do. It's just something I like to do. And if you don't know where to get flux or soldering equipment, you can always go to like Radio Shack. Some hardware stores have it, things like that, but Radio Shack usually carries flux. Stores that sell electronic components, things like that, a lot of times you can get the flux from them. Alright, now you're going to take your soldering gun or your soldering iron. Now that you're through with your solder, go ahead and turn your solder off there. Alright, and there you have it. It's nice and soldered on there. The clamp's there. It ain't going nowhere. It's good and strong. Alright, now the little piece that you had right here of the shrink wrap, we'll slide it up. We'll make sure it's cool first. Just going to slide it right over the top of this. Just like that. Alright, get your heat gun. Hold your fingers away from it because it will get hot. Alright, and there you are, nice and soldered. It's got a clamp on it and it's got some protecting, well, I'd like to say protecting coat on there just to keep it from getting scratched on anything. Okay, now we're going to, that stop that we had, we're going to go ahead and clamp that stop on. I'm going to go ahead and give myself probably about an inch. Use your thumb if you want, just a good guide. If you got a ruler, you can take the ruler right to the back of where the shrink wrap is. Coming about an inch. We'll clamp that on right there. Alright, there you have it. Good strong 6-foot leader. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope this was informative. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Leave any comments or suggestions. If you think this needs some tweaking, by all means, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know for sure. But this is a homemade leader. I think the total cost, minus the equipment that I already had, was probably about $2, maybe $3 total, and that included the hooks because they come in a pack. And these right here, I pulled these off of an old broken leader along with the other swivel. So y'all let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.